Hello everyone, it's Denise at Something Beautiful Handcraft. And so I did my unboxing video of Courtney a couple of weeks ago. And I was such in a rush to get it done because I wanted to open the box. Like I just couldn't wait to set it up properly. And after I watched it, I just really didn't like how it turned out. And so I decided to review Courtney again. So the bottom of the screen, I'm going to have the actual unboxing playing while I'm talking. So, as usual, I got Courtney out of the box. And the thing about Courtney is, well, anytime I get into historical realms, pretty much past the 40s, I don't have a great deal of interest in them because basically, maybe I could slide the 50s in there too, but they're very modern. And I really prefer the clothing and styles that are basically Edwardian back. Really, honestly, those are the furthest from what we have in the modern times. So I tend to stay away from those periods. But at some point, I decided that I wanted to have all of the historical girls that were available, at least the main ones, not necessarily the friends. And barring Cecile, because I have Mary Grace. So I don't really feel like I need both of them, though I probably at some point or another will pick up a Cecile. So I got Courtney anyway. I was born before 1986, so I don't really consider 1986 historical. But when I really thought about it, we're talking about the start of the American Girl line with Pleasant Company started in 1986. So it only makes sense that the culmination of the historical dolls would be 1986. So I totally understand why American Girl felt the need to make an 80s doll. And I think everybody except me tends to be an 80s fan. And so it's just really nostalgic for a lot of people. I am not an 80s fan. Like the 80s is a decade I wish like never happened. And I mean, as far as clothing and hairstyles and music, I am so sorry to all you 80s fans, but I just no, no. Besides Knight Rider, not really. Okay, so anyway, I'm not terribly impressed with the 80s, or at least that's what I thought. But I got Courtney anyway. Now, when I first took Courtney out of the box and I took her hairnet off, I was a little disappointed. Let me show you why. This half of the hair is really cute, and this half of the hair is a hot mess. I mean, this is frizzy and just that's no good. Not really happy about that. I did do a review on AmericanGirl.com and I was offered to return her, but I'm thinking that's going to be more of a hassle than it's worth. And besides the fact that it shouldn't come like this, I'm not like one of those collectors where, I mean, it's like has to be super perfect. Though I feel for the price point that you're paying for the doll, it shouldn't look like she's already been played with. But we're gonna be okay with that. It's not like I can't fix it, and whatever. I might give her a crimped wig anyway. Okay, so other than that, Courtney is wearing what she's wearing, and this is one of the reasons why I always say I'm not really crazy about the 80s. It's just the colors are really bright. I don't really like bright colors, and they're just a bunch of crazy colors all together. So, but that's the outfit that she's wearing, and I did have an opportunity to get her used, but as much as I really don't like her meat outfit, I would prefer to have meat outfits with the dolls. What I do really love are her shoes. I've had those shoes when I was growing up. They were some of my favorite shoes. I didn't have her white fringe jacket, but I did have a white, you know what? I'm not really sure it was white. Might have been. But I had a faux leather jacket without the fringe on it. And I'm pretty sure I must have something with some fringes on it, just not the leather one. But I love the boots, so that's always good. I'm not really a fan of wearing denim, but I do like the acid wash, stone wash look. And I do very much recall bleaching my jeans to get that look. So I'm surprised parents let us do that kind of stuff. I guess they figured it was in and it was cheaper for us to bleach our jeans than to buy the new acid wash jeans. I don't know. Parents are cool sometimes. So here we go. Also, what I got with her is her fanny pack because I most certainly had one of those pouches. And it's just so cute and adorable. And I got the watch. I had heard some things about these watches breaking. And so I was hoping I would get one that didn't break. And so far, so good. We'll see how long that lasts. I also bought this skirt. This is a controversial piece. And of course, I'll explain why. This is the bubble skirt with the suspenders. I love the bubble skirt. I remember having bubble skirts and wearing them with leggings. They were absolutely adorable. And I love suspenders, and I definitely remember wearing suspenders. The problem is that these suspenders do not actually clip on to the dress, okay, or the skirt. They're plastic. There's just a little plastic hook right here. And when you go to slide it on, it's bigger than the material, so it just slides right off. It will never stay on. And I knew that because I had seen the reviews, read the reviews, and seen people talk about it. So I was kind of expecting that when I bought it. What I planned to do, and it was on sale. So what I decided was that the price that it was currently and what it would cost for me to fix it would equal the price that it normally would be. So I would go ahead and buy it on sale and just go to Walmart's or Joann's and get the mitten clips and clip them on the suspenders. Makes it nice and easy. I also bought the splatter dress. It was on sale too. And yes, I remember the paint splatter stuff. And I actually recall doing the screen printing and paint splattering of items in my middle school. So I thought this was really cute. Now this is made of, it's like a windbreaker kind of material, like a nylon polyester type material. Reminds me of those parachute pants from the 90s. And basically, yeah, that's the material that things were made of back then. I know some people don't really like that material, but this is actually true to the time period. So I'm okay with it. And I think it's really cute. I need to get her something to go with it. I didn't really want the pink blazer at the time. I'm thinking I probably should have got it. So I may get the pink blazer to go with it. I did not get the houndstooth skirt and jacket mix and match because I have access to that particular fabric in a small enough print for a fraction of the price. And so I can just make those. So I didn't really worry about that. What I am planning to get is her sweater. And that's pretty much like the exact sweater from Saved by the Bell. So I think that one is a must-have. And I do want her high top tennis shoes at some point. I had the jelly shoes in the cart and I took them out. Now I'm wishing I had kept the jelly shoes. I hate jelly shoes. I've always hated jelly shoes. I don't particularly like sandals, and I don't like shoes without socks. And so jelly shoes, of course, are impossible to wear with socks on. And they always seem to chafe in all the right places. And they weren't particularly durable. And I was a very active girl. So me and jelly shoes did not get along. But jelly shoes are so iconic to that time period that I feel like Courtney needs to have jelly shoes. And that takes me to the whole thing about Courtney. Although, to me, she does kind of look like Mary Ellen. Well, I mean, they're all classic molds. And she's got that same bang. She should have had a bigger bang, and I might give her a bigger bang. We'll see. One of the reasons that I do like her is because American Girl took a lot of time with her accessories. And sometimes you get the complaint that American Girl takes a lot of time with the doll. She has a small collection. She doesn't have much by way of accessories. In this case, Courtney's kind of generic Valley Girl look, but her accessories are so on point. She has an arcade game, and it's Pac-Man, of course. I mean, the most iconic arcade game. She has Care Bears for her bed. I mean, she's pretty much the poster child for the 1980s. And she's got the multicolored bunk beds, which, of course, I never had because I was the only girl. So I didn't have that kind of bunk bed. But the room looks familiar to me from what I've seen from the 80s TV shows. So she's like classic Valley Girl. What's the girl's name? Stephanie Tanner. 80s TV show girl. And she has a boombox. Definitely had a boombox. And a cassette player, which is essentially the Walkman. She's got the caboodle with the lip smackers around her neck, and pretty much the exercise outfit, because I had the Get in Shape girls, I had the Get in Shape Barbie, I watched Jam, so all that stuff is familiar to me. Her whole entire collection is familiar to me, and it is pretty nostalgic. So I think that, although I say that I'm not a fan of the 80s, I'm not a fan of 80s clothing and kind of the 80s style. There's a lot of things in her collection that I do plan to get. And it's very possible that the doll I say I don't like is going to be the one that I have the largest collection of things. I don't know. That's just going to be weird, but that's pretty much the way it is. So, I mean, what else can I say? I can't, other than the fact that she's kind of cookie cutter generic, I really can't say anything bad about Courtney because I do understand the intention behind it. And like I said, the accessories, her collection is, I mean, fantastic. So here she is. She's in my collection now. What I do plan to do, because I do find so much of her clothing kind of crazy patterned, is let me put some pictures down below of the Sears catalog. This is a Sears catalog from the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. And you'll see that the clothing in that catalog is a little more normal than the stuff that Courtney has in her collection. Like I said, they picked the iconic MTV Valley Girl look for the 80s, which I totally understand, because if you're going to bother to make an 80s doll, you might as well pick the stereotype for the 80s, you know, even though it may not be like real life for everybody. That's kind of the cool thing though. So that's the kind of stuff in the pictures that I wore in the 80s. That's kind of how I remember the 80s. And there are quite a few adult collectors that kind of griped a bit about Courtney's collection and how it wasn't representative of what they wore at that age in the 80s. Maybe if they were teenagers, then it would be more representative, or like Valley Girl type stereotypes. So, yeah, I understand that. So when I make clothing for Courtney for the 80s, I will tend to make things that are a little more like the Sears catalog or the JCPenney's catalog, which is what I wore when I was growing up. But in the meantime, I can't wait to get more of her collection and all of those really cool accessories. All right, that is it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Courtney. Do you find that she is generic? Do you think she looks like Mary Ellen? Do you think that she's stereotypical? Do you even like the 80s? How do you feel about her collection? Let me know down below. Take care, everybody.